you open for him?
No, well, I'm trying to think. I hung out with him a couple times. The Irvine one was the time I got really high with him. Ryan Sickler and I were in the parking lot before.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, and Ryan's always got good weed.
Yeah.
And he had some crazy sticky shit, and he was like, he's like, you want to smoke? I thought Norm was going to be like, I'm about to go on stage, which he was. And he was like, yeah. I was like, you're going to smoke right? I was like, you're going to smoke right now? Because that was like so scary to me to get that high right before. He packed this bowl. Norm hit it, took a monster hit.
I watched him take a monster hit off of
coughed
Rogan one time.
So hard, tear came down his face. You know, like when you're coughing that hard. And I was like, this is going to be bad. You know? I took a hit because I was watching him. We weren't performing that night. And the show's already started. And I had that, like, you know, that anxiety of like a 5-year comic, and he's a 30-year guy at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't you got to get in there? He's like, huh. You know. I'm like, how
you gotta get in there?
Like, yeah, it's all I could think about. I was like, you got to get in there, man.
Yeah.
And he smoking, talking, told me, I asked questions. I asked about dirty work, you know, and working. I go, that scene with Rickles and Artie, you know, and he told me the whole story, which was like a great story.
Up.
Great story. How they couldn't fucking get the take because they all kept breaking and laughing, and they only had Rickles for a few hours.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, that's just how it is in movies sometimes. Like, you got this guy for like 8 hours today. They got the usable shot that they use in the movie at like the 7th hour. Because he kept roasting them and they were just falling apart, you know?
Yeah.
And then they had him again like a week later for another scene. And that's the time that Frank Sinatra was dying in the hospital. And Norm had said he goes, so he comes for that second time when we're shooting with him. I knew that Frank was dying in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I just went up to Rickles and I go, hey, I am really sorry about Frank. I know he's a good friend of yours. And he said, Rickles, like, yeah, I was with him in the hospital yesterday, you know, and I telling him that I loved him, and he was all like that. And I was like, and then Norm was like, oh my God. But that's Rickles, you know, like Rickles mocking his dying friend.
Rickles, man, he's the real deal.
He's the best. Yeah.
He's the funniest guy. And so that week, Sinatra was on his deathbed. Right?
Frank
Sinatra, Rickles, you know, close friend, you know. So at lunch, I was like, people were like, should we mention Sinatra? I don't think we should mention it, bum him out, you know. So, but then I said, I don't want to ask him, you know. So I said, hey, Frank, hey, Don, have you talked to Frank lately, you know? And he goes, yeah, I saw him last week. There was a lot of this. Guy died 4 days later. And then I said, oh. And he goes, yeah. He goes, it's a lot of me with my head 2 inches from Frank's face going, I'm not Barbara.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over. If we never got it.
And then I thought I'd tell you this. We walk from the parking lot into, this is the old Irvine Improv.
Yeah.
We walk in the front, and then there's the showroom doors, and then there's the pathway down. Dude, it's like a movie. We walk in the front doors, and then those showroom doors open. And as the showroom doors open, they're like, Norm Macdonald. He's got on this leather blazer on, and he's holding a Coke, twist-off Coke.
Yeah.
And he just walks up there, and you know, place goes, it was packed. And he's like, yeah, you know, some people drink Sprite. It's fucking gross. And he just fucking, like talking like that, like just off the top of his head about how gross Sprite is.
God.
And murdering. And then Ryan and I are in the back. We're like, holy shit. And we're like, we're so high. He's got to be so high right now. So high. And he's up there just killing, man.